Bitch, I'm back. By popular demand. Okay, ain't nobody was demanding for me, but I am back. As you know, I took my little maternity leave. I am now a mother. Now on when I'm filming, just know that there's a little camera watching my little human being upstairs. And that might be why that I'm whispering right now. I have always believed that people that come online and talk about how they have pretty punishment or their pretty privilege has gotten them far worse experiences than average looking person. Like, you're brave for that. You really are. Hi, love. Watch this video.
Pretty privilege is real. It is. I said the shit. It's real. I have seen people gravitate towards me and then all of a sudden, like, compliment me on my eyes, my skin color, my hair, whatever, right? So it's real. People do actually, you know, I guess, treat me differently because of it. Now, because of it, the different treatment is not always good. Okay, sometimes the treatment is negative and it's bad. So because of the color of my skin, because of the color of my eyes, because of my hair texture, I get hated on. So I'm gonna need you people who hate on people who are pretty to at least take into consideration that we getting it out here. Like, we already getting it. We don't need it from you as well. Like, for real, like, give us a break. I mean, be mad at moms and dad. Huh? We didn't do it. We didn't ask to be put here to look like this, okay? Whatever we was mixed up with, it's here, and we didn't have anything to do with it. So, I was in a public spot a few weeks ago, and there was a gentleman who was talking to me more than he was talking to the other ladies in the room. And ever since then, those ladies have been treating me like shit. And it wasn't my fault. He was just talking to me. I mean, probably because I was confident enough to speak back to him. I don't know. But they was hating. And they've been treating me like shit ever since. So y'all, be kind. Be kind to us pretty girls. We out here scraggling.
And then this video.
They talk about pretty privilege, but they don't talk about pretty punishment. There's been so many times I've just been counted out, and I know that it's behind animosity. I know it's because of a hidden agenda, but it makes me work harder. But this has happened, like, my whole life. So it's like what I deal with in the industry is just, you know, different face, same case.
Oof. They're the same, but not really. Hi love, my name is Tanya and this is an African commentary channel. I say that because I'm an African person and I love adding my 2 cents in things that concern me and things that do not concern me. So let's get right into this video. So this video is not just about like colorism, but it's also colorism, ageism, and pretty privilege all intertwined, because I feel like these things kind of go with each other. And especially now that I've seen this lady's video and Saweetie's video and how people have reacted to both of them, there's definitely a sense of ageism in there, and not just pretty privilege but also colorism. So when it comes to like pretty punishment, which honestly just sounds like a fever dream, because like what the heck does that actually mean? Being punished, as they say, because of their prettiness. Like, instead of getting pretty privilege, they're actually being punished because of how they look. It sounds like the most, like, that's just something you never say out loud. That's why it's like the people that say this are brave. But anyway, I read in the comments on one of the TikTok videos that I was watching over this, and someone said a really profound thing. They said pretty punishment is just misogyny. Pretty people thought they wouldn't face. She ate that, because it's almost like pretty people, or people that are pretty privileged, almost feel like they're not supposed to get any hardship, but then they forget they are a woman and that sometimes they will get pushed back. Or in Saweetie's situation, she forgets that she's in an industry that is male dominated, so she is bound, unfortunately, to be treated badly by the men in charge. And not necessarily because she's pretty, but also because she's a woman. And what she experiences, darker skinned women face much more than that. So what is actually pretty privilege and what is its limits? Because again, as I said, people reacted differently to Saweetie saying pretty much the exact same thing as this lady, who, by the way, I believe is 50. She's still sleeping. So obviously being pretty can bring you job opportunities. Everyone is nicer to you, and quite the opposite of that, which every other woman experiences, jealousy among friendships, all that type of stuff. And that is what this lady was saying, and what got people kind of mad, because the things she was listing are things that every woman is experiencing, whether they are pretty or not. But because, again, she is light-skinned and quote-unquote pretty, her whatever negative experience, she's gonna take it as, I'm pretty and that is why I am facing all these other things. But then every other woman do face these things. When it comes to this lady, it feels like a layer, or the motivation behind her video also has to do with how she used to look like when she was younger, because this is how she looked like when she was younger, and she was light-skinned and she had the face for it. Let's be for real here. This creator says my point exactly.
That light bright with the green eyes just lost 170 pounds, which is why she's behaving this way. Because she had a desirable face, but she did not have a desirable body per society. So now that she has a desirable body, she now wants to flaunt it in ways that you guys deemed acceptable. Because while y'all are talking about colorism, which she is participating in colorism, y'all are doing the same thing she's doing right now. Last week when we were talking about Chris Brown and his preferences. When y'all run out here and say that you desire or prefer women with lighter skin, lighter eyes, and Eurocentric beauty features, what do you think happens to those women in 30 years? They become her. So while you're online talking about whose granny is this? Why is granny thinking that she could say, why is granny talking like this? Whose granny that? That's your preferences, granny. That's your preference in 30 years. The only difference is she gained her preference status or her desirability when she was older. The same mindset that your preferences have right now, thinking they're better than other people based on their features, eye color, and skin tone and texture of hair, you're just seeing 30 years from now.
And that is where the confusion comes, especially when people who are light-skinned within the Black community, and I mean Black community in the diaspora, because it's an issue that goes beyond borders, that people often confuse pretty privilege or prettiness with lightness. Like, because the skin is light, they automatically think that they are pretty. And people were quick to point that out, like, ma'am, you are just light-skinned. That's why I say you never come on the internet and talk about how pretty you are. No matter how pretty you are, don't come here, and because people always want to humble you. But it wouldn't be a shock that in her age and in her age mates, that men do find her pretty and do pick her over other dark-skinned women, and she's seeing that. So whenever she gets a look from a darker skinned woman or for any average woman, she feels like it's because she's pretty and she's being punished, right? And that was basically her point. And then it comes to Sweetie, the thing that she said about, her having pretty privilege, her having pretty punishment, the reaction was different also because of ageism. Like, our generation and ages, I need to talk about this, because the way people hate old people, like, they're not allowed to have an opinion or think highly of themselves. Like, someone's always out there trying to, humble them. And it just shows how both their takes were taken very differently. Like, nobody cared. No one's making video essays about what Sweetie said, but like, a lot of people are talking about what this lady said, even though it's kind of the same thing. But because the one is older, it's not landing very well. This also just shows that youth and colorism really just always softens whatever backlash there is. Like, you can say anything, because darker skinned women in the media will get so much backlash for not wanting to be associated with colorism or talking about colorism, for their own reasons, which I believe, because as a dark skinned person and that's all you talk about, or your struggles, it doesn't bring a good light to your career, because that's all you know about, or you kind of acting like a victim. There's always this negative aura that goes around you when you're a dark-skinned person and you also talk about race and like colorism and things that matter. There's a stigma that's within it's there. So that is also the pretty privilege, and also the colorism and also benefiting from colorism that Sweetie has, to be able to say something like that and not receive like hardly any backlash. And for the lady, the only reason she got backlash is because she is an older woman. And this whole situation just told me that pretty privilege has an expiration date. Like, it cannot be applied to older people. But because we're living in a current state where no one wants to get old, because they believe once you're older, you are no longer attractive or desirable, therefore you cannot come online and claim to be desirable, because, you know, that's it, you're done. And when it comes to pretty punishment, I think it's such a crazy word, because it's flipping the privilege into victimhood. You want to be part of the conversation when it comes to like just colorism and, you know, pretty privilege, or that kind of stuff. You think that you are in the same level playing field as people who are ugly or seen as ugly within society. Like, you face the same problems because people are punishing you because you are so pretty. Where it's just like you're experiencing misogyny as every other woman does, and it's probably at a better level than women that aren't desirable to men. So pretty women that just feel, pretty light-skinned women that just feel like their life are just so bad because people are jealous of them, they just need to understand that that is just misogyny, and that beauty is used against women at every stage of their lives, like before you're even born. And what I've concluded from this whole situation is that, mostly according to men that are colorists, like, as long as you're light-skinned, you're good. Even though you look like a potato, it is fine. And also, if you are pretty, you're gonna get that privilege. But also, there's an expiry date because of the ageism culture that we have right now. But at the end of the day, I personally believe that calling it a punishment, girl, be for real. Hey, girl, you're just experiencing misogyny. Anyway, see you guys next time. Bye.